So it looks like we are about to be live. Still suffering. Okay, and it says that we are live. So, hello, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are well. Welcome to Natural Weed Community Hour of Power. We are excited to be here once again and today we have Monisha Gardner of Moya Body Care, who I will formally introduce in a minute. But first, we're going to start briefly with our breathing exercise that we normally start with. I was introduced to a history of spiritual jazz playlist by Mo here, and I think that today is just a great time to be able to listen to it for a couple minutes. And I just ask that as you hear it, that you get yourself in a comfortable position, take some deep breaths while you're listening, and we'll just let the music lead our breathing and guided meditation for a couple minutes. And so as you hear the music, you take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. You just listen to the jazz. And we just start allowing ourselves to be present in this moment, to be present here in this space. As we hear the instruments and just think of good, calming, peaceful thoughts. We sit in gratitude for the breath that we have and for this moment and this time. We take stock and enjoy that the sun is out. And that we just have this time to breathe. That we have this time to be. And so I invite you to take 3 more breaths, deep breaths. And as you exhale, you imagine all bad, all negativity going out. And as you breathe in, all that is good and positive and light coming in. And when you are ready, go ahead and open your eyes as the music fades into the background. And so again, welcome. Thank you to everyone who is joining here with us. We are excited to have you once again. I am very excited for our guest today. One, she actually named our community hour. I was saying the Natural Week Community Hour, and I was talking to Mo one day, and she's like, and what would you like in your hour of power? And I was like, I love that. I love it. And so I ran with it, and I was like, it's the Natural Week Community Hour of Power. So first, Mo, thank you. Monisha Gardner is the founder, CEO, boss, gangster, you name it, of Moya Body Care. Moya Body Care was manifested more than 13 years ago by Monisha Gardner as a holistic and organic body care company treating sensitive skin. Over the years, Moya has become something stronger and greater, offering the very best in colon hydrotherapy, yoni steaming, iridology, Reiki, and herb. She inspires you to move towards a healthier mind, body, and spirit. Monisha combines Eastern and Western philosophies with ancient healing and spiritual practices to offer you an experience of holistic wellness that reconnects with your original source of energy, so healing occurs naturally. And so thank you, Monisha. I keep going back and forth with Mo because I call him Mo, but I'm going to try and stick with Monisha.
You call me Mo.
She's shaking her head.
That's fine.
Okay, thanks. So, Mo, thank you. Welcome. Please come in and introduce yourself in your own way. But we are just very excited to have this hour of power, this space of really talking about all things wellness, health as it relates to our guts and the interconnectedness of mind, body, spirit. So take it away.
Well, thank you. I don't remember me saying, well, maybe I do remember. I think I do remember that conversation we had. We were laughing more so than talking, I think. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Right, as always. So I appreciate you, beautiful. Appreciate you. But yes, my name is Mo, and I offer colon hydrotherapy, yoni steaming, iridology reading. What else do I offer? Herbology. I offer a lot in regards to alternative health practices. My main gift, though, or method, is through colon hydrotherapy. As you know, your colon, or if you don't know, your colon is about as tall as you are, and it's 2.5 inches in diameter, empty. So those who do not know what colon hydrotherapy is a very simple, very basic, very ancient way of flowing warm water through your colon. And yes, we have to go through your backside. We do have to insert a speculum into your rectum so that warm water will flow into your colon, soften up any undigested food, fecal matter, waste, etc. And then your body will naturally start to expel waste out of your body. So in essence, colon hydrotherapy is a beautiful way to hydrate your internal system from top, bottom, left, right. It creates movement through the body. Our bodies are designed to have movement. Our bodies are not designed for stagnation. That's why arthritis is so painful, because that is the opposite of our well-being. Our bodies are meant to move and thrive and flow like a river. So when you start to flow water through an area that is more stagnant than not, then you increase circulation, you increase hydration, your level of absorbing food increases, your level of toxicity decreases, your level of awareness increases. So it's just it can be a complete full body, like, in essence, a reboot, if you will.
Right. And so how did you get into wanting to be a colon hydrotherapist?
So that is like a 5-part story question, but I'll give you the basics, the basic foundation. Basically, I've always been in health and wellness since I was a child. My very first early remembrance of me being involved in like alternative health. I remember my father had created a space for my mom in the backyard for a garden. And she had just planted, all these beautiful plants my father had bought her. She got all this new dirt, she had everything laid out. And so when she went back in the house, I went back to her garden, dug up all her flowers, mixed it up with water, covered it all over myself, and then put the flowers over my head. And then I laid down on the diving board and was like sunbathing. I have never got beat down so much in my life when my father got home. Oh my God, I saw stars. It was horrible. But that was my first remembrance of me being like, in mud and flowers and sun and water and things. But I became a massage therapist in 1998. Still certified, still kept that going, everything. I did have other jobs, like I worked with the city, I worked with the state, but I always had my own business constantly being built. So I had went through a healing crisis of sorts, and I was needing some severe shifts to happen with my health. There was a lot of things that was happening externally and internally, and it was reflecting itself back and forth in my life, like with my finances, my relationships, my business, the job I was working, because all the stuff in the inside wasn't working very well. So I already knew about colon hydrotherapy, and my mom used to get colonics well before I even knew about it. So what I know for sure is that when I start to cleanse my body, then my external atmosphere gets very clear and peaceful. So I started getting colonics from a lady that was in LA. And on the way there, I had a argument with my partner at that time, who's no longer my partner, thank God. And it was really disturbing. It was really, really, really disturbing. So when I got to my appointment, I was so like disconnected. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I just, shook my head. No, there were so many things going on in my head. So she was like, "Well, go ahead, go get undressed, get on the table, your gown, everything is there. We'll go ahead and start." So I do that. She comes in, she slides the speculum in, and I literally have a nervous breakdown on the table. So I thought I was having a nervous breakdown, but really what was happening was that I was having a breakthrough. Now, I want to talk about that for a second. A lot of people think that being woke, the great awakening, the aha moment is like you jumping through clouds and you're riding a unicorn. It ain't like that at all. It's ugly. It hurts. It's like you're ripping off your old skin and you're getting a new skin. It looks like you're going insane. You feel like shit, excuse my French. It's not a pretty experience, but you got to go through it if you want to get to the other side. So while I was in the middle of all of that, actually, no, that happened afterward. So I'm going through this breakdown. I'm on the table, and there was a moment where I opened my eyes, and the therapist was standing behind me, and she was rubbing my back, and I could see the reflection of her in the picture that was in front of me, and there was a candle glowing underneath it, and I can see her reflection. She was a Black woman, or she still is here. I don't want to say past tense. She's still here. She still practices. She's tall. She has locks like me. And I instantly resonated with that image of her, a Black woman caring for me in this fetal position. And I'm going through this ugliness. It just, everything just seemed right. And I'm like, oh, I want to do what you do. I want to help women leave fucked up relationships and get their empowerment back, and and get a job or work a business or whatever. Like I want to do it all. I want to do it all. And so she looks at me and she's like, "Okay, like you just had a breakdown. All of a sudden you have this epiphany. Like, okay, well, whatever." So I got in my truck and I'm like searching for colon hydrotherapy training and all this good stuff, and I found the training. It was in Vegas. The lady was real cool. She was like, this is the deposit needed, and this is how much you need to finish. And she was real cool. She's like, would you like to make a deposit to hold your space? So At that point, I ain't had no money. I was broke. I was in a relationship that was really bad. He didn't have no money. I had just found out the day before that he had abused my credit card because I found the credit card statement that he was hiding. And I only had that credit card in my wallet at the time. I knew the balance was zero. I knew it was. So I sat on it for like 2 minutes and I just said, Spirit, you know, I submit, like, whatever it is you need me to do, like, just let me know what you want me to do. So I pulled the credit card out. I gave her the number. It went through. I was like, okay, take your mind. I hung up. So she can't call me back, talk about, oh, it was an error. No, you told me it went through. So I'm coming to Vegas. Right? And I still have that credit card to this day as a reminder of how it started all. You know, it started because I submitted and I said, use me to be of service. And that's how it started. So, teary-eyed. Yes. Yeah, I remember all that. Mm-hmm.
Well, we are glad that you started. We are thankful that you submitted and listened, because here you are, you know,
13 years later.
And being, yes, 13 years later, helping and being of service. And I'm grateful that you touched on the emotional aspect of cleansing your body, and what it does not only to your physical self, but your emotional and mental self.
Yes.
From listening to you, from being on your table, that has been one of the main things. And one of the first things I hear you say is, you know, how are you doing? How are you beautiful? What is your intention? So how did you start being, in terms of where you start asking people about their intentions and what they need? Because you are very present when people come, not only just when they walk into your office, but from that first text or phone call to even hear about your services, you're very, very present.
Mm-hmm. I think it all came together because I was very present, and I am very present with myself. I'm going to use very specific words. I know that people are very superficial. I know that people are very surface based. People are very, let me show you versus let me just be who I am. Everybody has a mask or a jacket that they put on for the public, for the masses, for the individuals that they don't know to receive a certain response. It's very rare that you run into somebody that is just comfortable in their own space, have nothing to prove, and feel perfectly fine being in their own skin. So I do a lot of cleansing every day. Like, technically, right before we started, I shared with you that I'm cleansing and I may have to like blow my nose, but I'm cleansing every day. So there's always a layer pulling off of gunk for me moving through the world and everything. And for me processing while I'm cleansing on a regular basis, you start to feel different. You start to have different, your senses start picking up something different. So we're no longer on the surface. Now we're down here where emotions are. Now I can feel it. So when people walk in, while they're talking to me, I can feel a little bit, if I wanted to open up to it, I can feel a little bit like they're sad, or they feel stuffed, or they feel like they've been judged a lot. And all of these things that are come out in the form of their tone, their body gestures, how they're moving their eyes, when they sit down, how they walk. Like, people tell you what's going on. I've been studying people for over 13 years, right? Doing this. So I have to pay attention to what people are doing and how they're saying it. So when you start asking questions that are not surface based, it requires people to stop and think, and it requires them to drop into the now. So if you come into my office and I say, hey, how you doing? You're expecting me to say, hey, how you doing? I don't say that. So when you come in, I'll ask you, what was the most beautiful part of your day? Let's start there. What made you stop and say, that is really beautiful? That makes you stop and think, like, wait a minute, did I even do that today? Then that's when we start. Now, how people respond to that is either like, wait, what? What did you ask me? Like sometimes people get irritated when the protocol is not the same. They get irritated. So that tells me you are either drinking too much, you're smoking too much, you're drinking too much caffeine, you have too much sugar, you're stimulated too much. Because all I asked you was, what made you smile today? And if you're irritated with that, you have too many irritants in your body. So you see where we're going with it? Now, the other side will say, that's a good question. Let me sit and think about that. I'll be like, take your time, then I'm going to share with you what made me smile. So now we're off to a different type of dialogue versus the very superficial, hey, how you doing? Sign in. Nobody, you get that 20 times somewhere else. I'm not trying to be superficial with you. I'm getting ready to go into your backside. It's about to get deep real soon. Let's go ahead and start right now.
Right.
Might as well cut to the chase.
All right. So one of the things with the with Mo's services and the colon hydrotherapy as well as her yoni steams is that she has been able to facilitate a space where especially Black women and women have been able to deal with womb issues. So fibroids, cysts, things like that. I remember when I first came to Mo, I came because I was having problems. Like I'm a tomboy at heart, at complete heart. And so I love wrestling and playing with my nieces and nephews. No, I'm a human playground, whatever. And when I came to Mo, I couldn't even beat them in a race. Like if I wanted to beat them in a race just on sheer pride because I wouldn't let them be auntie, I couldn't because I was in so much pain. I had some cysts and things going on, so I started coming to Mo, and through the colon hydrotherapy and the yoni steaming, I didn't have to get any surgery to actually remove any of the cysts. I was able to. They're gone now. I work out sometimes twice a day. Now, so thank you, Mo. I appreciate it. But and I bring that up because one of the things that was happening, the more I went to Mo and the more I listened, because sometimes we're stubborn and we don't really listen all the way. So she put me on this whole eating plan and I was like, I like to eat. And so she would text me and be like, well, how'd you do? And I'm like, I'll follow it halfway. She's like, okay, you're going to have some halfway pain. And I go, oh, well, okay. And I had to, she was right. But when I followed her plan fully, and after she had listened to me, and when I say she listened to me, it wasn't just auditory. No, she looked at me and she was like, have you had surgery? And I was like, yeah, I forgot about it. How'd you know? She's like, I can tell. But it was so helpful in not just being able to now be my athletic tomboy self, but my presence, my mindfulness, how I take stock of how I'm feeling and things, it has been just wonderful. So if you could just talk about that a little bit.
You just did.
I talked about it from like, hey, I was on your table side, not like the healer.
Right. Well, you are a healer. That you do provide that because you were able to move yourself from pain to not having pain. You were able to move yourself from having this foreign object in your body to not having a foreign object to your body. So yes, you did it. You are the healer. I just simply was like, oh, you may want to look at this versus looking at that. And that's the position that I take always. My job is not to tell you what to do. We have enough people in your life doing that. What I like to recommend to my clients is that you start to think for yourself, you start to feel for yourself, you start to tell me or tell other people in general what it is that you need. Oftentimes, people are not asked, what do you need? What do you need to accomplish that goal? Do you need silence? Do you need more water? Do you need more rest? Do you need to take a walk? Do you need a break? Do you want to talk about it? Nobody asks anymore. People just assume, like, oh, you need this, you need that, you need that. I never tell people what they need. I may make a suggestion like, well, if you have lung issues, you may want to stop vaping for a little bit and start drinking some aloe vera juice and take a little bit of mullein to help heal, if you want to do that. But you have to remember that how people got to this point is through habits. Most people don't like change. Most people, if you have a detour on the way home, they get out the box. Like, oh my God, there's a detour. What's going on? And that's just going home. We're not talking about not eating fried chicken no more for a little while. We're not talking about decreasing your caffeine or your Starbucks. That's like people's Bibles. So who am I to tell you you need to do this? My job is to simply take everything that you share with me and then hold it back to you so that you can see it. This is your mirror. So what do you want to do about it? And however you want to shift this mirror, I just hold you and support you in light. That's all I do.
Well, we appreciate it very, very much. I do see we have a few people on the live, so I do want to just welcome you all here. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to type in the comments, especially as we move into. Mo is currently, her office, that is currently on hiatus in this pandemic, but she has still had different videos and things. And what would you share with people to help them keep their gut healthy while we're indoors, but kind of sort of going outdoors, and being able to be in a space of wellness during this time?
Yeah, perfect question. So when we start talking about healthy gut, we have to talk about and address fear. So most people are motivated right now by fear. They're doing things out of fear. When we do things out of fear, we tend to eat a little bit more. You tend to drink a little bit more. And it's not about eating the healthier foods or eating more fruit. More people are eating more crunchy things, more fried things, things that are sweet, things that are comfort foods, right? Because they have this fear thing going on. But what we don't understand is that when the body feels fear, it starts to release what we call a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is used to help your muscles in your body get out of harm's way, right? But our bodies are not designed to constantly secrete that hormone. So what happens is when you're constantly in this state of fear, you start to have cortisol stored in your muscles. Now you're starting to get fat. Now you're starting to get a midsection because you're constantly in fear, consuming everything. So the first thing we have to do is control this here. So some type of mind altering practice, deep breathing, meditation, yoga, social media detox, a people detox, closing your eyes more often, going within versus going without, right? That's the first thing that I would recommend. The second thing is check your water intake. So if all of your liquids are colors like brown, red, burgundy, orange, clear with bubbles in it, yeah, all that good stuff, 7-Up 2, Sprite 2, all of that, but you're not consuming water, basically what you're doing is drinking syrup and pouring it down into your colon, literally. Syrup and bacteria are married. So if you're trying to increase your immune system, the last thing you want to do is consume sugar-based foods. like coffee, Starbucks, all the sodas, doesn't matter what it is, all the sodas, they all got some kind of syrup in it. And you want to do spring water, preferably spring water with fresh lemon juice, fresh lime juice, maybe crush up a cucumber in it and drink that all day long. That's going to flush you like nobody's business. When you go to the toilet, you're going to see like grainy stuff coming out of you. That's the lemon and the lime and the cucumbers scrubbing the walls, getting that junk out. And I have clients call me all the time like, whoa, like I didn't think just lemon, lime, and cucumber juice would do that. It'll scrub. So when you go to the toilet, you're going to have all these little things popping out of you just by drinking that. So those are my recommendations. Meditation or some type of mind altering tool, not a drug. Let me put that out there, not a drug, mind altering, but deep breathing, yoga, mindful eating, going outside for a second to do a mindful walk, taking a bath, journaling. Those are mind altering tools. And then consuming fresh spring water on a daily basis.
Okay. And thank you. That's great. And also a reminder for me because, you know, there was some cream soda on sale and I definitely got some.
No, you did not.
It's gone now. It's gone now. I'm back to my water and my smoothies.
All right.
Although I do need to pick up some aloe vera. I am out.
That's all right. We can get you down.
So one of the things that you also talk about is herbs. Would you suggest people start taking herbs now, right away? If so, what herbs should they take? What are some of the benefits to the herbs?
Right. That's an excellent question. So what I have been learning on my own personal journey with herbs is that, and helping clients work through herbs is this. In order for herbs, it doesn't matter what form of herb it comes in. If it comes in a tincture, a liquid, a powder, a tea, a capsule, a pill, it doesn't matter what is in. All herbs need water to be activated. However, if your internal atmosphere is more so dehydrated and not, meaning that the majority of your food intake is acid-based, so you eat a lot of acid-based foods like fried foods, packaged foods, sodas, and coffees, I would not recommend that you start off with taking an herbal program right then and there. I would recommend that you start off with a 14-day food transition, meaning that you're slowly decreasing your caffeine and sugar intake and you're increasing your water intake over time, right? Because what happens is you have to saturate your cells first with water before you can start taking herbs. So if you take herbs right now, you have waste sitting on top of dehydration, sitting on top of herbs. So the herbs are going to be sitting on top of dehydration, then dehydration is going to be sitting on top of waste, and then the waste is going to be sitting on top of your cell. So there's no way that the herbs can penetrate to the cell because you got these layers of junk sitting there. Remember, we have to dilute our body. We have to dilute it. You have to dilute. When you dilute the toxins in your system, then the cell is more open to bring that food in. So about a 14-day period, I would just hydrate, and then open the colon with some type of herbal laxative. I like to use CKLS, but whatever works for your system. Then we start taking herbs. And then I will move you gently into taking, let's say, some liquid chlorophyll, aloe vera juice. Those are my two go-getters because they create a healthy foundation for the herbs to be pulled in. And then depending on what your next number one topic is for you. So if your issue is skin, then we'll start taking herbs for the skin. If your challenge is your digestive system, then we'll start taking herbs for your digestive system. If it's womb health, then we start focusing on the womb. So you see where I'm going with it? So it just depends on what's going on with the person. but everybody should hydrate first for at least minimum 14 days. If not, you're going to get sick and you're going to be like, oh, herbs made me sick and herbs, it hurt. Well, you have to look at everything you've been putting in your body up to this point. It's just sitting there. You've been eating everything you want to eat. So we only have 5 channels of elimination, which are, well, men have 4, women have 5. The 4 that we all have are our colon, our kidneys, our lungs, and our skin. And then the 5th for women is our uterus. And most women don't know that our uterus is an elimination channel. Every month we release. Every month we have an emotional, physical, and spiritual release. But we haven't been taught that. So whatever you were doing, and I'm kind of like going around back and forth, but whatever you were doing 3 weeks before your menstrual cycle came down, that 4th week when your menstrual cycle comes down is a reflection of what you've been consuming the 3 weeks prior to. So if you have fibroid cysts, tumors, you have really, really achy breasts and your hips are swollen and you have mucus coming out and this horrible smell, you have to look at what you've been doing to your body 3 weeks before. Because it's a complete reflection of what you've been doing. Nobody else has been doing this to your body but you. So whatever you've been putting on your body and in your body is going to show up when your menstrual cycle shows up.
All right. We have a couple of questions. The first one is, earlier you mentioned spring water in terms of being able to hydrate for that 14 weeks. So the question is brittle water unacceptable?
Oh, yeah. So use whatever you have. I just prefer spring water because it tastes better to me personally out of all water. But I'm going to be honest with you. I was in Costa Rica last September. And when we stayed at for this retreat, we had well water. I could have swore I was drinking a steak. I was like, what is this in this beautiful glass you just put before me? This has to be liquid from the gods. Like, what? I have never tasted water so pure in my entire life. Like, literally, it was... I'm about to cry because the water was so good. Unbelievable. But whatever water you have at your disposal, definitely get it in. And water is to choice, and it's to taste. It's yours to choose what works for you. I just prefer spring water over everything else. If you look at any like instructions on detoxing, they always say spring water because that's supposed to be the most filtered water. But I beg to differ. The water that was in Costa Rica out of that well is the best water on the planet that I've tasted thus far. That's just me.
They said so. Basically, we need to move to Costa Rica, and I agree. Let's go.
I got a passport. I'm ready.
let's go. Let's go.
Look, I just need a swimsuit and a jacket. I'm good.
Hey, and it's warm. We won't be cold.
Exactly.
So let's go. The next question is asking about the aloe vera. So the listener has a it's Maisha. Hi, Maisha. I just love you. She has a aloe vera plant. So she was asking if you can repeat the benefits. So she and then I'm going to add on there. So for anyone who has an aloe vera plant, are they just kind of making sure that they can just pick it and then, are they squeezing it into the water, or how do they use it with aloe vera having a plant?
Mm-hmm. So with the aloe vera plant, I like to leave the aloe vera plant for external. Actually, that's not true. That's not true because I used to have a lot of aloe vera in my house before I moved. So what you do is you cut a piece of the aloe vera off the plant, slice it open, take a spoon and take the meat out and put it in hot water. If you put it in cold water, the aloe vera is going to congeal together. But if you put it in hot water like a tea, it'll dissolve and you'll get all the benefits of the aloe vera. And some of the benefits of aloe vera is that it's very hydrating. It soothes irritation from mouth to anus. It is a cell rebuilder. It's a cell purifier. It strengthens your immune system. It's a good bacteria for your gut. I can keep going on and on and on about aloe vera. Aloe vera has so many healing properties because it is a healer, like a soother of irritant. If you get a cut or anything on the outside, you just cover it with the aloe vera and the body will suture itself straight up. It's the most perfect plant on the planet, literally. It's amazing.
Right. I love aloe vera. My
My
mom used to have aloe vera.
You can drink that every day too, by the way.
You can drink. So when you scoop it, just one spoonful, and you can drink it every day, all day. However, it's not going to be too much aloe vera in your water.
So when we start talking about measurements, everybody is different. So if you are an individual, let's say, who's 44 and you're taking 5 different medications, your level of taste may vary greatly because medication changes everything about your chemical makeup versus a young woman who's 25 who's never had any chemicals in her body. She may be able to drink a whole bottle of aloe vera juice and be okay. So again, you have to use your better judgment and your taste buds and decide what's best for you. Aloe vera is not toxic. Chemicals are toxic. Aloe vera is a plant that grows from dirt. Chemicals are grown in a lab. So you have to make that determination for yourself. Like, okay, I'm going to start off with a little bit. And anytime you start off with a cleansing program, a detoxing program, increasing your water, decreasing your toxins that's coming into your body, start slow. So instead of taking 5 CKLS, take 1 and see how your body responds in the next 3 days. If you don't get a response, make sure that you're not increasing your caffeine, increasing your carbohydrates and your fat while you're taking the herb, because sometimes people forget that they're taking herbs, but they're still eating the same. You can't do that. It has to start shifting over really, really slow. Again, you have to drop into your body and be aware of everything that's going on with you. I had a client last week call me, and she is just like in pain. She's like, something is wrong, Mo. I got this big bubble on the side of my side, and oh my God. And she's going on and on and on and on and on. So she does this like every 6 months, right? So I said, okay. And I'm listening to her, and she's like, I'm sweating, and I haven't pooped, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like going on and on. So I let her talk. And I said, love, what have you eaten in the last 4 days? She got real quiet. And I said, hello, are you still there? She's like, I hate calling you. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And so she called me back 2 minutes later. She had birthday cake 2 times in a 4-day period. She's lactose intolerant. She had buttercream birthday cake 2 times in a row. She had coffee of the yin yang. She's been celebrating birthdays. So they've been eating everything inside. I said, you've been consuming more foods in the last 4 days than what you would normally consume in 7 days. So you see where I'm going with it? That's why you have this big thing on the side of you. Your body is like, we can't take this. So it's not that something is wrong. Your actions and your habits, you weren't paying attention to what you were doing. That's the challenge. You got to let it pass through. I can't do nothing for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So how have your clients been able to facilitate the adjustment to better eating habits, taking the herbs, drinking the water, and being in a space of wellness where they are aware, where they're taking stock of their mental and their emotional and their spirit? Are they journaling and writing down every single thing that they eat? Are they making are they putting are they putting it in their phone as like reminders of I don't know why I can't think of the word.
I get where you're going with it. So my clients are very spoiled. They are very, very spoiled. And Part of it is because I cater to my clients, right? Which is fine, but I'm aware now, since we've been quarantined, that has created a problem for me. So right when all this stay home orders were ordered, I got a lot of phone calls with people just like in fear panic mode, like, whoa, wait a minute, what does this mean? And I can't come see you. Are you closed? And how am I going to continue my program? Because I closed down right smack in the middle of people going through a cleansing program, right smack in the middle of it. So those individuals was like, whoa, wait a minute. And they kind of sunk back down into this victim role, because it was coming at all angles. Not just me, not just LA, but their family, their friends, their job. Now they're not working, now they're at home. It was a lot. And all I simply told them to do was just sit, be still. You don't have to do anything. Wellness doesn't always equal doing something. Sometimes wellness means sit down and breathe, period. That's what I've been telling everybody to do. Don't worry about your herbs right now. Don't worry about keeping your refrigerator stocked with a whole bunch of healthy stuff. Just sit for a second, because your emotional well-being is going to determine what's on your plate, not the other way around. I've lived with my family who's from the South, and I've had the whole refrigerator decked out with healthy food, and they still brought in unhealthy food. So having a refrigerator stocked with healthy food means nothing. What means something is what you're thinking up here and how this is moving. So that's going to determine what you put on your plate. So sit, be still, don't do nothing, and just breathe. When you're able to sit and be still, then you will get the downloads that will tell you what your next step is. But in order for you to receive that, you got to be still. You can't be moving around like Sonic the Hedgehog, just rolling, just going, just going, just going. Don't know where to go, just rolling. Be still, sit for a second, and just look at what's going on before you respond. That's what I've been recommending to clients.
I'm so glad you said that. There's another question, but just real quick, I'm very glad you said that. Talking about when things happen, like right smack dab, it was also smack dab in the middle of a semester for me, and I'm one of the ones who is spoiled by Mo. I am very spoiled by Mo, and I'm gonna keep being spoiled by Mo. She don't know it, but I am. But one of the things is, I remembered her telling me that if you guys think my schedule is crazy now, you should have seen my schedule when Mo met me. It was insane. And one of the things that she would always say as soon as I got into her office was, just sit and be still for a minute. Because I come in like, hi, Mo, how you doing? I'm ready for my clinic. She was just be still. This is not another meeting. This is you time. And I remembered that when everything started. And so for a good 5-6 days, my students were asking me, what do we do? I was like, take a breath. Like, well, what about assignments? Don't worry, I got you. And what I actually was doing, I was asleep. I was asleep for like 3 or 4 days. And then I just kind of like, I had to gather myself and tell myself and encourage myself that it was okay to be home, because I'm always leaving. But being able to be still was actually what helped me, because I was ready to like go get some pizza and Popeyes and everything. And I was like, no, I've been doing good. I can't. I just started working out again and having protein smoothies and everything. I can't like back up. And so being still was so helpful. Mo, you would have been proud because I didn't have to text you right away. I was like, I got it. But it helped so much. It helped get used to the change. It helped put me in a mind space of, no, don't forget to pray, don't forget to journal, and being able to navigate this space, not only for myself, but for my students, for my friends, my family and loved ones. You know, when we call and check on each other, and being able to help facilitate them in this process. And most of the people who are online right now listening in with us are people who are healers, or we have therapists and professors and those who, you know, we have mothers on here who are in a nurturing space. And so I'm very thankful that you are reminding us that it is okay to be still. If we're not sitting and breathing and allowing ourselves to be still, we're actually not in the best place to facilitate healing for others. You know, we don't, one of the things for me playing basketball was I had coaches who could still ball. My track coaches could still get out there and run and beat me. But I respected them so much more than going against other schools. And I look at their coach and I'd be like, well, you can't say nothing. You'd roll down the court. So, you know, hearing this and reminding ourselves that we are that we need to take care of ourselves as healers. You have a question that says, what are your thoughts about laxative teas from the stores like Smooth Move and pills like Magnesium 07 to keep yourself clean?
So, excellent question. I myself have not played around with Magnesium 07. I've heard about it. I have a couple of clients that take it. So when you start taking, so here's the thing with herbal laxatives in general, or let me back up, laxatives in general. There are 3 different types of laxatives that are available to the public. The first is osmotic laxative, which means that osmotic laxatives take all of the water out of your body and dumps it into the channels of elimination to push waste out. But the problem is constipation, which is normally the reason why people take a herbal laxative, is the definition of dehydration. So if an osmotic laxative takes water from your body, where is it taking water from if you're dehydrated? It's also taking water from your muscles, from your skin, from your eyes, from your teeth, etc. So you don't want to use that type of laxative. That's not an herbal laxative, that's an osmotic laxative. The second type of laxative that's available to the public is a chemical laxative, meaning that there are chemicals that have been put together to create a chemical reaction in the body to make your colon do this, to get it out. The problem with that is chemicals are harsh. They're man-made. The body can't break man-made chemicals down. Hence the reason why people continue to fill their prescriptions. If the prescriptions work, you wouldn't need to refill them. See what I'm saying? So those are chemicals. You don't want to use those. So that is like Pepto-Bismol, that's a chemical. Any over-the-counter laxative that you can get like at CVS or anything that your doctor recommends, that's a chemical and or osmotic laxative. So sometimes it's both, depending on your situation. The third category of laxatives come from herbs and food and diet. That's the area that you want to stay in. So you want to eat foods that create a laxative effect. Like anything that's green in color that grows from the dirt is going to create a laxative effect. So you're talking about greens, kale, spinach, cucumber, you know, your mixed green leafy salads, those things like that. Liquid chlorophyll, that's going to create a laxative reaction. Another food that would do that would be prunes. Another food that would do that is beets. When you start moving to the herbal laxative side, you're looking at senna, you're looking at Cascara sagrada, you're looking at CKLS, and a couple other herbs out there that would create that. Like sometimes turkey rhubarb is an excellent purifier, but so is aloe vera juice. So you see what I'm saying? So the senna tea, not the senna tea, but the smooth move tea. Smooth move tea, most people don't know how to use it. I adore smooth move tea, but this is how you use smooth move tea. 1 tea bag is supposed to yield 3 cups of smooth move tea, meaning that when you pour your hot water in your cup with your tea bag, you only let it steep for 2 minutes, then you take it out. Most people leave the tea bag in there and they keep drinking it, then they have a diarrhea effect. You let your tea bag steep too long. So one tea bag will give you 3 cups of herbal tea, if that makes sense. So when you use your smooth move, only use it for 2 minutes, take it out, and then you can use it 2 more times. Okay? If you find that you're having more of a diarrhea effect, then let the tea bag steep for 1 minute. The herbs may be too strong for your system. Does that make sense?
That's good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For those who are listening who have a question, go ahead and type in if that made sense, or if you need a follow-up, please. And if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to type it in. We have a few more minutes, and while we're just waiting for that, so you're closed in terms of your office, but you are still selling herbs. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Definitely. So everybody's doing this curbside pickup, touchless pickup, or carry on or carry out or something like that. Basically, like I mentioned before, I have clients that were on a program and they take herbs every month. So if you feel like you need herbs and you're not sure where to start, you can give me a call. We can book a consultation. I still do offer consultations virtually. Something similar to this on Zoom. And the phone number to make your appointment is 562-682-0818. And in that consultation, you can ask me everything that you want to ask in regards to your health and wellness. And then I would give you recommendations based off of what you share with me and which way would be easier for you to accomplish your goals, right? If that requires herbs, I'll just give you your recommendations. If you want to order them, I'll put the order in and then you can pick them up on Thursday at my office. And my office is located in Torrance. The address is 1001 West Carson Street. And that's in Torrance, California, 90502, if I'm not mistaken. So every week we do a herbal pickup, and I'm normally at my office every week on Thursday only, between the hours of 9 and 5. So that's your pickup hour when you can come pick up your herbs. But you definitely have to call me first to order the herbs. I'll have it packed up for you, ready. You pay for it online. Or I can either send it to you online or I can take it over the phone with a debit or credit card, whichever is easier. You pull up, I grab your name with your bag on it, give it to you, you're off and running.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. I have typed in Mo's number that she gave for anyone who would like to call or text call. You prefer call?
Can call. Definitely, I prefer to call because text does not always work with communication.
So you can call if you would like a virtual consultation. Mo, we thank you for this time. This was great in order to empower and inspire us to continue to heal and have ourselves well and taking care of our gut. And also a couple people are in the comments talking about how they felt you're talking about just breathe and be still and really allowing our minds a rest in order to be able to then move into, and it's just so important. And Mo encourages it. Myself, I encourage it. One of the best things about this being at home has actually been the opportunity to intentionally be still, not being still because I finally got home and collapsed and was like, I'm just too tired to move, but intentionally starting the day with, I'm not gonna open my eyes and look at my phone. I'm gonna open my eyes and I'm gonna take a shower and I'm gonna give my dog some belly rubs and we're gonna go on our walk. And
Yes.
And then I'm going to move into my day. So thank you, Maisha. We see she said gratitude. So your question really, your answer to her question helped. And so I encourage you all to really, and we're not forcing this information on you. These are suggestions. This is what has worked and helped Mo and her clients, worked and helped me. But more so, this is information that you can take, that you can process and see if it aligns with you. See if it aligns with your goals and what you need. And if it does, then take stock and go for it. And we are here. You have our contact information, and just be in a position to take care of ourselves. And this is a way to process and facilitate and deal with our emotions and with this life and being healthy so that we can be here as long as possible. We don't want to leave this earth before our appointed time. We want to be here for a full appointed time. And there's a Medea quote that says, "Don't fast forward me there, God. Don't fast forward me to heaven." We don't want to fast forward ourselves. We want to be here for that.
You want a quality of life too. You want a certain quality of life. I don't want to be here on the planet and I'm just wrapped in like pain and fear, and I can't walk upstairs and it hurts to breathe, and my skin is all messed up and my hair is falling out. Like, that is not your natural given right. That is completely out of alignment. You're living totally out of alignment. If you have anything going on with your body, I don't care what it is, you are operating out of alignment. And I am here to share with you that when I had to close my office due to this COVID thing, and I totally did not mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. I just kind of like took it and ran with it.
No, you're good. I felt it coming. So I felt it coming. So you're good. You're good.
Okay. Real quick. I know we run out of time. But when I closed my office down, it was on March 17th. And I had been booked from March 17th on to I think the second week in June, right? So I'm working, and my mom is calling me, and I'm like, why is she calling my phone? Because I'm working, so I'm not aware of what's going on outside in the world. When I found out, I canceled all the appointments, closed my office down, and I'm thinking I'm breathing, right? Now here I am, I'm a teacher, I'm a guide, so I'm thinking I'm breathing and I'm handling everything. I go to sleep that night. The next morning, my body was completely covered in hives from stress. Overthinking, my mind was still going as I thought I was asleep. I wasn't asleep. I was laying there with my eyes wide open thinking like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my God, office closed. We're going to be zombies. Aliens are coming. Like, it was so much information coming at me. My body just said, boop, 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 boop. And when I tell you, it was painful for me to lay on the bed because it was hives all over my back, all over my neck, everywhere. It took me a complete month of just constant solitude and focus on only me. I can't help you. I can't help you. I can't help my mama right now. I can't focus on my sister, my partner. Everybody got to take care of themselves for a moment because my body is in crisis right now. When was the last time you've done that? Literally, everybody else sit down and you put you first. Most people never do that. So the time that we have right now, this is a gift. This is a gift. This is the time to really focus and start taking baths, like all day. You can sit in the bathtub all day right now if you want to. All day. And just keep running hot water all day if you want to. When was the last time you woke up and took a bath instead of taking a shower? For a whole month solid, I'm taking baths all day long because my body is covered in hives and I can't do nothing else but just surrender to it. The moment I let go, the moment I surrendered, and it took me a month. Now, I've been doing this for a cool 13 plus years. It took me a month to go, oh, wait a minute, I'm not surrendering. Once I surrendered, my body went back. I can tell you, like, in 24 hours, I was back to normal. But it took this.
I remember.
Right. It took this a month to get focused. A month. So when you start dealing with the average public, it's going to take them about 6 months to recognize what's going on, and then to recognize it's okay to let go. It's safe to let go. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Well, I'm laughing at the moment because your furry friend has been quite still the whole entire time. And then you start talking about letting go. And when's the last time you take care of yourself? And your furry friend sure did walk over here for some belly rubs. So she decided, and I'm laughing, I'm actually going to show you her. So in case y'all didn't know, this is Mo's friend. So Mo, this is Zena. And Zena, they love each other. They really love each other. And this one right here, as soon as Mo starts talking about take time for yourself, she sure did water herself away from her bed with some belly rubs.
Get this. All is right here. Mama, rub it. Yes.
So spoiled. But I'm grateful because she makes me slow down. She will, if I let her, she will actually close the laptop if she thinks that I've been on too long, and she will be like, no. And so just that, for me, that reinforces, being present with yourself, being present and reminding yourself what are things that make you happy and bring you joy for this quality of life. This pandemic is showing us that nobody cares about you but you. Nope. At the end of the day, you are all that you have. At the end of the day,
nobody coming to save you. Let me just tell you that. Ain't nobody coming to save you.
And so we must take care of our quality of life. And it's not even just to owe it to ourselves. We deserve it. And we deserve it because we exist, because we are here. And we do not have to apologize for taking care of ourselves, for holding space for ourselves, for giving ourselves a minute. Because as much as we'll know the kids still got school, we'll know I still got this assignment, we'll know I still got to work. If you call in for a medical leave, they're going to find somebody to do the work. So why run yourself to the ground?
Yeah.
We need to take care of ourselves and take stock of ourselves, and being able to do it in a way that brings us not only joy, but peace and alignment, and having a life that is well. For we are more than well. So thank you, Mo. Do you have any final words?
I think I will share this one thing with you. It just popped into my head when you were talking about it. My first adult experience with seeing another woman care for herself happened when I was in my 20s. And I had met a woman, I think we were the same age, but she was so much wiser in her years compared to where I was emotionally and spiritually. We just kind of did like this. And she had her own nonprofit. She's traveling all over the world. I think I was 23 at the time. And I was just so how are you doing this? And so we had made some plans, and I was supposed to get back to her. And I called her on a Monday. I left her 2 messages. She didn't call me back until Tuesday. And so I said, hey, I called you yesterday. What happened yesterday? She's like, let me help you understand something, because I don't think I explained this to you. And she was very cool with it. She said, Mondays are my self-care days. I don't do anything for anybody outside of me. So if I want to sleep until 5 o'clock, I will do it. If I want to eat ice cream in the bed, I will do it. If I want to go get a massage, I will do it. If I want to eat cauliflower while doing cartwheels down the street, I will do it. She was like, I do whatever I want to do on Mondays, and it's only for me. And I will continue to live my life unapologetically to anybody who calls me on a Monday. You would never get me on a Monday. When I received that, I immediately took offense. But I took offense because I wasn't treating myself as well as she was treating herself, and I was jealous. And I had never seen a woman of color especially a woman as young as I was, taking so much pride in caring for herself to where she dedicated a whole 24 hours to herself. I was like, I don't have 24 hours dedicated to myself. Who gave you that permission? She said, I gave my own self permission. Ever since then, my whole life has been shifted. My whole life has been shifted. So I leave you with that. Be radical in your self-care and be unapologetic about how you get there. As long as you're not hurting anybody, right? Let's keep that in mind. But you're pouring into you, and you will go to great lengths for yourself. That's what I want to leave you with.
We thank you so much. This was great. This was awesome. I appreciate it. Natural We appreciates it. I love the happy dance.
Right. That was a wellness dance. Bam.
Thank you so much for being you. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you, everyone who came and listened in on this Natural We Community Hour of Power. It will be on YouTube within the next 48 hours. And we are also looking forward to next week. Next week, we have Damani Dillard and Ronald Major, who are founders of Meeting Minds LA, which is a kind of like a think tank group for Black people. It's a fun time when you're on it. So yes. We are looking forward to having both of them. We wanted to have some male representation on our Hour of Power, so we're looking forward to having them next week. And until then, I hope everyone continues to be well, to be more than well, and take care of yourself. And we look forward to it. And thank you again, Mo. We love you.
Love you. Adios.
Adios.